Mike Bohn here at the World MMA Awards with a woman you should all know, Heather Linden, the master behind the scenes at the UFC Performance Institute. Heather, I think you are finally getting some long-awaited acknowledgement for Trainer of the Year here. How's it feel?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here, honestly. Hard work, but I mean, I wouldn't be here without these great athletes and all the trust and stuff that they put in, the PI and the great team we have and everything. So I'm just really actually lucky to be here. So, you know, a lot of hard work goes into it, but I wouldn't want it any other way.
You talk to the fighters, their teams, they all love you, but maybe the fans, like, out there don't see you as much because you're not, out there too publicly. So, like, for anyone who may not be aware of exactly what you do day to day working with these fighters, kind of tell us.
Yeah, so I am the director of physical therapy at the UFC Performance Institute. So day to day, these fighters have access for any kind of rehabilitation from injuries, any day-to-day maintenance, making sure that they get into the octagon healthy. So we're behind the scenes, making sure our athletes, we travel to the fight events, and all week we're working on the guys, doing different physical therapy techniques to make sure they're feeling really good and to make sure that there's no hiccups when they walk out to the octagon.
Well, I know you probably can't name names or tell too many stories, but can you maybe give us with some names get canceled out, like one of the crazier things you've had to deal with over the past year?
I mean, I would say probably Francis Ngannou, rehabbing him 3 weeks out from major injuries to a world championship. I mean, we all knew he's a local, right? So the minute he was injured, he stepped into the Performance Institute and we were able to get what we needed to get done and really, support him. And that's really what we stand for, So coolest, thing to see someone who is so injured, almost close to pulling from a fight, and then literally going and winning a world championship. So that's pretty much day to day for us, which is so fortunate.
How tricky does it get you at some points where you're like, oh man, I don't know if you should even be going there, but it's your job to make it happen regardless, right?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, even today we had an athlete that fights next week that had an injury, right? And it's reacting and making sure that we give them the capabilities to get out there. I mean, a lot of athletes train and compete with injuries. I mean, they are pushing their bodies to the limit day to day. So for us, as long as it's not going to be like a life-threatening or a changing injury, there's a lot we can work with. In sports medicine, we've evolved so that there's a lot we can do that, previously injuries, they'd be pulled. Now we're able to manage them, get them into the octagon safely, and still being able to collect on that paycheck and, be healthy.
Amazing. Well, keep doing the thing. I think you're a huge factor for these athletes behind the scenes, and I know they all appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.